What's up, guys? In today's episode, we're going to be smoking a boneless pork butt on this Louisiana pellet grill. How I'm going to be prepping this pork butt is quite simple. First, I'm going to use this yellow mustard as a binder. That way the rubs actually stick to it and not just fall off. And then for rubs, you have several options. Here's a few of my favorites. Use Byron's butt rub. It's kind of a salty barbecue flavor. This Chef Paul's Meat Magic. It's kind of in between sweet and salty. And then this Pork Barrel Barbecue All-American seasoning is more or less just like a sweet flavor. They're all good. You can even mix and match them, whatever you like, or make your own. The options are unlimited, really. As a spritzer, I'm going to use a little bit of apple juice to just spritz on every so often, just to make sure everything stays moist while it's cooking, doesn't dry up or anything. So first and foremost, you're going to spritz some of the mustard on there, just kind of get everything stuck. Little kind of goes a long ways, so just put some of that on there and just more or less rub it in here and there. Spritz some more on there with your clean glove. Rub it in. That's pretty much it. This step is pretty simple. So for the next step, I'm going to be taking this Byron's butt rub and then just sprinkle it on here, getting a good amount. This is a good sized piece of meat and it can take the seasoning, so you don't really have to skimp on it. Just want to get it down there and then rub it all in. As you can see, I put quite a bit, but once we pat it all in, going to even out. One thing you want to remember is on pork butt like this that has a fat cap, you want to keep that on the bottom to just kind of protect the meat from the barbecue itself so it doesn't burn. This will actually melt down and everything. There's a little bit of fat left on there, which is fine. Now, because this is a boneless, I actually sliced it down the middle, so I'm gonna go ahead and put some in here as well. Didn't get any binder in here, but that's fine. Now that everything's seasoned up, I'm going to get this grill fired up. Now, one of the main benefits of these pellet grills is how easy they are to fire up. Basically, just click that button, and then these pellets in here are going to be fed down in there, and before you know it, you got a flame. So one of the tricks I like to use with these pellet grills is just taking a chunk of actual wood, like I've got some hickory here, and then setting it down right above the flame. I'm going to go ahead and let that char up and everything and ignite itself, because as convenient and easy to use as these guys are, they don't always produce the best smoke flavor. So on a nice long cook like this, especially with a big chunk of meat, they're going to give it a nice additional boost to that smoke flavor that we're all looking for with the convenience of the pellet grill. So it's a nice little addition. Basically all you do is let them ignite themselves, like this one's already starting to go, and then move them on to the side, so they'll just continue to smother with the fan blowing circulating air around the entire cook chamber here. That gives it a nice little addition to the smoke flavor that you get from the pellets. All right, so once they are lit up like that, you want to just move them off to the side and then go ahead and close this burn chamber so it's a little more of a diffused heat for the rest of the cook. Okay, so I've got the flame covered up, and then you just basically want to take these guys and set them off here in the corners, here and there. They'll continue to smother. And then another little trick I like to do, just to get the humidity going and keeping everything moist during the cook, is just take one of these cookie sheets and then pour in some boiling water, or almost boiling. That way the grill itself doesn't have to heat it up. What that's gonna do is, again, just kind of create a damp environment, which is going to help the smoke itself adhere to the meat. You want to put that close to the flame itself, that way it just stays hot, and the meat on the opposite side, that way it's not blasted with just direct heat. And again, you want to take your fat cap and put it on the bottom. And now I have it set up. So I have the water pan right above the flame, which is lower left, and then upper right I have the pork butt itself. What that's going to do is kind of keep everything on its respective corner, so the water pan gets the heat right above the flame, and then the meat gets the diffused heat that we're going to need for this nice long smoke. Got it set to 235, and it's time to close it up. All right, so it's been 45 minutes and it's time to give it a spritz with some apple juice. One little trick I have for you guys: if you use one of these little plastic bottles of juice, that way you don't have to dirty up a spray bottle, or if you don't have one handy, you can just poke a hole in the lid of it. That way the juice will just spritz out onto the meat itself. All right, let's open it up and see what's going on in there. There you go, it's looking good. Getting that nice color on there. Nice. Spray some of this apple juice. Slowly working its way around here and there. You can see this method actually works pretty good. It's controlled, but it's coming out at a fair pace. Here. Alright, got it soaked on there. And it's time to close back up, give it some more cook time. Okay, so it's been another 45 minutes. I went ahead and just gave it a nice little spritz and rotated it. It's definitely coming along. Time to give it another look. Yeah, it's definitely getting there. That color. Next round, I am going to actually insert a meat probe. Once it hits the temperature I'm looking for, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it in foil. Time to get some more juice on there. Corner soaked. All right, so the thermometer on this guy is saying 160, and then this instant read is saying 163. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull it and then wrap it in foil. So you can see it's really coming along. It's got that nice color, a little bit of bark built up, and it's taking about all the smoke it could take. All right, let's get it wrapped up. Got the foil laid out here on this front shelf, and it's time to pull the pork, ironically, and get it wrapped in this foil. It is quite hot, so you're gonna want to be careful. Wearing protective gloves might be smart, but hey, I've done it before. All right, so get it on there. Again, it's really hot. It's got that jiggle jaggle that you want to see. Kind of lets you know that it's getting where it needs to get. All right, so kind of just make a little boat out of it. Wrap it like this, so you don't get much leakage. And then I am going to take some of this apple juice and just squirt it in there, so we get a lot of moisture. I'm going to take one more sheet of aluminum, then just wrap it on top of it. That way it's double layered and it protects from leaking or steam getting out. Pretty much want it to look something like that. And then we're going to go ahead and put it right back on the shelf. I'm gonna move it a little closer to the flame this time, just to maybe speed things up a little, because it's starting to get dark and we have a little bit of cooking left to do. All right. All right, so that is hitting 191 degrees. The coyotes back there are howling, unfortunately. And it is ready to pull. All right, let's get it out of here and let it rest. All right, so I've got my hungry friend here with me, and I went ahead and pulled the pork off of the barbecue. So I've got it setting up here in my kitchen, just here on this butcher board. This is a very important step. You wanna let it sit for at least a half an hour, just kind of relax. That way the muscles that are in the meat now, they're all nice and tight, they'll loosen up and then be able to reabsorb all the moisture that was held in with this foil. If you just rip into it right away, it'll look like it's juicy because their juices will be flowing everywhere, but give it a few minutes and it'll just dry right up. So this is a super important step. Be sure to let it sit for at least 30 minutes. All right, I'm gonna do that and be back when it's ready to go. All right, so it has been 30 minutes and we are going to unwrap it. Oh wow, I wish you could smell this on the other end. It smells great. You can see there's a little bit of juice still in the foil, and this was just, and that was just the top part, so here's the grand unveiling. Wow. Wow, look at that. Got all that juice that's down in there. Got the nice bark. Nice coloring. Looks good to go. All right, so I'm gonna get this in a container and shred it up. All right, so let's get it shredded up. I'm just gonna use these two forks and rip it apart. Nice and simple like that. Just wanna use that motion, go in opposite directions. All right, so it's all shredded up as you can see, and man, again, I wish you could smell this. It smells so good. I'm gonna go ahead and try another little piece. Here we go. That was one of the lean pieces. It's still nice and juicy. Let's try one of these pieces here that's got a little bit of smoke ring on it. Man, that's really good. Wish you guys could try it. I got a special barbecue sauce I'm gonna try with this. It's actually a sun-dried apricot sauce. I figured that'd go really good with this pulled pork. We got it in our Imperfect Produce package. There'll be a link in the description of how you can get your own. So let's do a little recap on what we did. So we put some mustard on the pork butt, then we did our Bad Byron's barbecue rub. Cooked it for about 5 hours at 225 degrees. Then once it hit about 160, we actually wrapped it in foil and cooked it for another 2.5 hours or so. Then we brought it in, let it cool for about a half hour, then shredded it, and here we go. It's a lot of work, but that's a lot of meat. All said and done, we probably got about 5 pounds of pork that's ready to eat. And it's very versatile. You can use sliders, nachos, pizzas, quesadillas. You fill in the blank, you can pretty much do with this stuff, and it freezes well. All right, so that's gonna do it for this one. Until next time, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned for lots more videos just like this. You gotta have another piece. Man, that's good. All right, peace.